So a simple orange like this, or what we call like a mini orange, has about, I would say, 6 grams of sugar in it. And 6 grams of sugar is equivalent to about a tablespoon and a half worth of sugar. And it has fibers in it. So you eat the orange. Let's not make it complicated. Just think about a bigger orange, two teaspoons, one small orange, one teaspoon. So if you're looking at your daily consumption of snacks and you take one orange, you get the mini orange, which is 50 calories, 1 teaspoon. 200 calories would be four of these little guys, and that would be 4 teaspoons. So 4 teaspoons of sugar, 200 calories of little oranges. That's about 10% of your required calories to sustain your resting metabolic rate. Just to give you context, you eat that 10 times, you are good for calories for the day. You did not meet your protein requirement. There's not enough protein in there. You did not meet your fat requirement. There's literally no fat in here. So let's work backwards from there. We're now working from four little cuties, four little oranges. We got that going. We don't need too much sugar. We actually don't need sugar, but we want the carbs. So that carb comes with some sugar. And we've gotten 200 calories in. And then, you bring a bag of cuties to work. You eat one in the car on your way to work. You eat one while you're at work. But these are all snacks that take place, keyword snacking, which is not a meal, that can be relatively easy for you to snack on during the day. Decent sugar, but not too much. If you're talking about a banana, you're talking typically 2 times the sugar amount. So 2x the sugar, and you generally will know, like if you're talking about blueberries or raspberries, if it's not that sweet, it's got less sugar. If you know it's sweet, it's got more sugar. And the fact that it's attached to fiber makes it very pleasing to our intestines. So it doesn't actually allow the sugar to shoot straight into your small intestine, into your bloodstream. So you don't get that really literal sugar high that you get when you're taking a cookie or if you're taking, Coke as an example. Again, and a Coke has 12 tablespoons of sugar. That's a lot. It's really a lot. But I'm glad they passed some law allowing certain schools to not allow children to eat soft drinks with sugar in it. Anyways, getting back to topic. So we can have oranges or mini oranges as snacks to cover our carbohydrate sort of intake daily. And then we have a secret weapon that I have, which is called nuts and almonds. And I know everybody gets a little bit nervous about things like almonds. And I have like 50 almonds here. And I believe that's about 170 calories, 50 of these almonds right here. Don't get nervous. You don't necessarily digest 100% of this almond when you eat it because you crush it, it's fragmented. A lot of it comes out. Keep in mind, when you're snacking on almonds, you're not eating the full calorie that it suggests it has. So let's say 200 calories here. You eat all of it. You're probably absorbing maybe 60% of it, more or less, depending on the type of digestive system and how effective you are. You're not absorbing 100% of it. So rest assured, it's not bad snacking. And when you're snacking on almonds, you want to make it accessible. Put it in a Ziploc bag along with your orange. Just keep it next to you. I keep a bag with me at all times in the car. You can leave it in the car. You can leave oranges in the car. They're not going to rot. They're not going to go bad. I mean, don't leave it there for 3 years, but you get the point. It's just something for you to nibble on. And it's small enough that, you put something in your mouth and you feel like you're doing something with it. And then you can follow up snacking with what? With water. Yes, water. Water fills you up and water's good for you. And I think that's a really important tool that we have that we often don't use is bottle water or water. When you leave home, get your Stanley, you can fill it up with water. And whenever you're snacking, just make a point to use your water in the flask and drink and eat some nuts and some oranges with it. And you don't have to eat the whole orange. You can peel it out. You can make it little pieces. The point is to keep the mouth moving because you've developed this habit of snacking. And what we really want you to stay away from is processed snacking. You're going to have to replace this with this, okay? And if that's difficult for you to do, it's something that you really want to get. It's difficult for all of us. Let me put it this way. But if you do it for about 10, you're going to change the chemistry in your brain. You will want it less. And I can tell you off of personal experience that when you quit sugar for about a week and you taste the same ultra processed food in a different format, let's say this is a gram of sugar in here, there's a teaspoon of sugar here, and you taste that same sugar in a cake, you're going to feel like you have a headache. And I'm not joking. This is real. So this is just how potent refined sugars are and how deadly it is to your mitochondrial health and how deadly it is to your overall health. I mean, we don't stand a chance to beat diabetes or even anything pre-diabetes if we can constantly consume ultra processed food. It's just too potent. It's like, you can't, I've never done before, but apparently it's very difficult to quit heroin because of how strong it is. Thankfully, UPF isn't at heroin grade. We still have some control over it, I think. And I think if you can substitute some sweet in oranges and some sweet, and even apples, great. You want to do apples, you want to do oranges, you want to do blueberries, anything is fine. A fistful. You don't even count the calories. In the beginning, I don't even think you should count the calories. If you just want to eat oranges and blueberries and berries and strawberries, go for it. Let's kill the habit of UPF first, and then let's move. We can get into like how much quantity a little bit later. This is going to change your life fundamentally. I went through the whole process. Okay. My kids are currently going through it. It's a difficult process, but we're doing it. So you're not alone. And I'm very, very passionate about this subject because it changes you. It changes your whole dynamic. It changes the way you engage the world, changes your energy levels. It just makes you a happier person and you're less dependent on things that you normally were. So I encourage you to do that. Ziploc bag, Costco almonds, salted, not salted. Hey, start somewhere where you still feel like you're looking forward to a snack. Raw almonds, it's a little hard. I mean, my wife buys it frequently and I'm not a big fan of the raw almonds. But yes, I know it's better for you. Salt is not good for hypertension, but grain of salt right now, grain of salt. The other thing you can do is same thing, right? You can have 50 pistachios or 20 almonds, same relative calorie count. All right, servings. So 200, 200. You got 200 of this, 200 of this. That's 400. 4 oranges, you're already at 600. You've got about 1,000 left, 1,000 calories left. Take a steak, take a chicken breast, and you're pretty much there at 400 or 500 calories, depending on the type of steak, how it's cooked, and how many chicken breasts. But roughly, right, you got some chicken breasts, some steak, you've got your proteins, you've met your minimum protein threshold for the day, which is about, for a sedentary individual, which you will not be soon, about 50 grams. Let's call it 50 grams. 50 grams. About an 8-ounce steak has 50 grams. So you sprinkle that in, and all of a sudden you have almost this snacking protocol around oranges, whole fruits. You've got some nuts in there, and then you've got some chicken breast. You've got some steak, and throw in some carbs, throw in some broccoli, throw in some whatever your favorite type of vegetables are, if any, right? But green is good. Leafy vegetables are good. You know the deal. And I get it. It's like baby steps. And how you cook it will matter too. Do you put it in butter? Do you not? Don't worry about that right now. Just enjoy the variety first. Get used to the variety. I just want you to get used to variety and avoid things that are ultra processed. And so let's move into that direction. Now we've got some snacking protocols in place. We kind of know what protein we're going for. It could be tofu too, no problem. It could be a slab of tofu. It could be a slab of chicken breast, slab of red meat or meat. And of course, it could be salmon. It would be great if you could consume salmon, a couple times a week. Wonderful, wonderful protein that you can take. And of course, I don't need to go into details. And I will later on, all the the omegas that you can get from fish that you probably couldn't get from meats. But that's a whole chapter in itself, and I'll get into the nuances. Difference between carnivore diet, keto diet, vegan diet. If you're vegan, I was vegan too. I've tried that before. I tried carnivore, tried keto. they all have their pros and cons. Okay, they all have pros and cons, and I'm not sure you need to do one or the other. And if you're conscious about saving the environment and not killing animals, fully understand, totally get it. There are ways to be vegan and healthy. And I certainly will address those protocols in other episodes. But moving back to something that I think is really important. And this is something that I have seen tremendous success with some of my clients, some of my friends, which is the breakfast, the first meal of the day. Super important. When we wake up from our night's sleep, and hopefully by now you have improved your quality of sleep and you're now doing the 5 minutes of exercise every morning. You're walking and you're taking some water with some magnesium, some salt. And now you're back to your kitchen. Most of us is a kitchen where we're making our cup of coffee and or our banana, pardon me, our where we're making our cup of coffee or our tea. There's a danger zone there. All right. That's a danger zone. And I have seen this again and again in many houses. Pardon me. This is the danger zone. And I've seen this again and again. We do everything correct up until we have that coffee or that tea. Let me rephrase this. We do it everything correct in the morning until we get to our coffee and our tea. Can you guys guess what happens? We add refined sugar to it, or we can't drink it, or we add some creamery to it, like creamer, vanilla syrup. That's straight sugar, pure sugar. That will kill your metabolism for the day. Okay? And that's the culprit. That's the person that's the thief in your mitochondria that's trying to steal your ATP, steal your power, and that I really want to address. So, pretty please refrain from adding sugar into your morning beverage. No chocolate milk naturally. Drink your milk, soy milk, add milk, add your, almond milk, whatever it is, just don't add sugar, please. Please don't add sugar. And I promise you, you're going to feel better over the course of the next few weeks. If you must take something sweet, use fruits and use the least sweet fruit possible. And you know what that is. We all go for banana because it has the most sugar in it. Try a little bit of blueberry, try a little bit of raspberry, and just remind yourself, if it doesn't taste sweet, it probably is pretty good for you. It's too sweet, even if it's in a fruit, it might be too sweet if you consume too many pineapples, as an example. Very, very sweet fruit. Very good, but very sweet. So I hope this is kind of a way for you to kind of navigate some simple protocols regarding snacking around nuts and fruits. I hope I've given you kind of an overview of how this kind of works in the psychology. Stay away from any drinks with sugar in it. Period. Yes. No sugar in your drinks. There needs to be no sugar in your drinks. Strongly urge you to not consume Diet Coke, diet anything. Those diet drinks have been proven to be not good for you. Whole food plant-based diet and nutrition. I had the pleasure to study a bit of it in Cornell, and I can tell you with certainty they're not good for you. Okay, so I'd rather you do this, and I've been doing this a lot lately, and I think it works. At least for me, it does. And some of the peers that I work with and some of our clients, like get some lemon, lime, and just squeeze it into water and give yourself a little bit of that taste, or make your own sparkling water and squeeze some of that in. Stay away from sugary drinks at all costs. And if you get to the evening and you're drinking a glass of wine, have your glass of wine. Just remember, it has sugar in it. I don't drink, so it won't spike your glucose. Actually, alcohol mutes it, but the sugar's in there. There'll be an after effect in your bloodstream while you sleep. That's why it's one of the reasons you don't sleep as well when you drink. When you drink and you fall asleep, if you're wearing a tracker, you'll see that your heart rate variability will be rather low post drinking. The more you drink, the lower your heart rate variability is, which is the interval between the time your heart beats like da-dum, da-dum. That interval is a variable. And there's lots of evidence that suggests that the higher HRV, the less likely you'll have diseases. And all these watches that we're wearing today, if you have an Apple Watch, or a Garmin, hey, guess what? There's these green little things in the back that can track your HRV when you're sleeping. And I think that's a wonderful way for you to kind of gain insight to how alcohol is affecting you or how things that you ingest in your body is affecting you. Oura Ring, Boop, Garmin, Apple Watch, Fitbit, I think has a version too. And we'll get into that. I mean, there's so many things I would love to share with you. And I hope your takeaway from this episode was useful. And I hope you get to healthy snacking. And remember, if you have to tear something apart like this, if you're looking at things like this, if you're looking at potato chips, while you're on this program with me, please stop. Use fruits, use nuts. If you don't like nuts, use more fruits. And just help me help you get into a 2-week cadence where we're not touching ultra processed food. And in a separate category, in a separate episode, I'll touch on the different alternatives we have for snacking. And some of it will involve you having to make your own snacks. And I know that's just not convenient for most of us. But there are solutions. There's solutions. Meal prep is a whole universe in itself. But it's so hard. It's so hard. And you fall out of favor with meal prep really quickly because it takes time. So I find that simple things like nuts, fruits, which are accessible, you buy it, it's around, are the best ways to get started with healthy living because I just need 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks for you to establish a habit where you're satiated by something, well, semi-satiated by whole food opposed to ultra processed foods. Thank you guys so much. Have a wonderful day. See you next time.